Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading video. In this video we will be looking at who you are most like in terms of the Greek Olympian gods and goddesses. Here is stack 1A, stack 2B, stack 3C. You can pause if you'd like and if you need some more time to figure out which stack you're most drawn to. If you're not drawn to any of the stacks, that's completely fine. This just might not be the pick a card reading video for you, but I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my YouTube channel. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. Alright, let's get into it. Hello everyone, and well, hello 1A. Hello everyone for 1A. No, I'm not going to start over, that's fine. Hello 1A. How are y'all doing? Okay, so if you chose this stack, you're the only group who has two separate Greek pantheon. What is it called? I always say the word wrong. Pantheon, right? You are the only group with the Greek pantheon having two oracle cards from that Greek pantheon deck. Anyway, the tarot cards here are Temperance upright, Seven of Cups in reverse, Five of Wands in reverse, Seven of Wands upright, Six of Wands in reverse. So see, we have 5, 6, and 7 here. So 5, 7, 6. Oh yeah, Six of Wands in reverse though. And the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So there's 3 different cards that have 7s here. And when I think of the number 7 in terms of tarot, it really is about like looking beyond present appearances. I don't know if that makes sense. The number 7 makes me think of that future planning, of looking to the future, not only the present. Okay, the oracle cards are 17 Fuchsite Healing Heart Chakra, 13 Eos New Beginnings, and 22 Hephaestus Work. So, I will say that I pulled 2 separate oracle cards from the deck because you're actually the only stack who I first pulled Eos, and that actually isn't a Greek Olympian god or goddess, and so because of that, I'm like, I just left that there, and I wanted to see if I pulled any Greek Olympian gods for the other stacks, and I did right away. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back through and look at the other Olympians and see who I feel would best associate with the stack. Technically, from the logistical, I mean, if there is ever a logistical side of tarot, which I think there is, but in terms of the logistical side, it seems like there was another, I don't even remember which one it was. I pulled the cards yesterday, but the god or the deity that I thought most would associate with the tarot cards, I didn't put down because it felt like the energy did not match. So for this one, it felt like the energy did match. And it's like it provides extra clarification other than just matching word for word what the energy reads for the cards. But okay, in terms of the type of person you are, and I will read from the guidebooks later as well for any extra clarification. Who you are as a person. Oh, I feel like I need to sneeze. I'm like all over the place. I wonder if some of y'all are kind of ditzy. I relate if you are, so it's okay. I don't really get the sense that you're ditzy as much as this is so random, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. I feel like a lot of you could relate to the fact that you get surprised very easily. Like you hear something on the news, like somebody like me, it's like I'm not surprised by things. It seems like anything and everything is happening all the time, everywhere, all at once. But I wonder if you easily get surprised, or if people scare you, you're easily scared. Very interesting that I bring that up. Also, because I think a lot of you are very trusting. You could be trusting of other people, but I think it's more so you're trusting of the universe and you're trusting of the process. And it feels like in your life, you're the type of person who has had to go through so many things, and it's almost like you have to keep restarting. It's like you are headed down one path, and it feels like then you have to change course for whatever reason. And that's definitely being shown here. Where with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse and the Seven of Cups in reverse, it feels like you've had to keep restarting things. And it feels like, oh, that's interesting. Ooh, this is very specific messaging, but with the Five of Wands in reverse too, I wonder if a lot of you have given up on certain goals or dreams or projects because of other people. For example, let's say you have a friend, they're applying to the same job and they really want it, so you let them have it, and then you have to like look elsewhere. Or let's say that, like, I don't even know how this energy relates. Just like giving other people the opportunity as opposed to yourself. Or like, let's say you and your friend both have a crush on somebody, and so then you're like, okay, my friend can go after them, and we can see if that's able to work. You know what I'm saying? It seems like you kind of always put yourself second in many instances, so that's part of what lends to the fact that you have to do a lot of starting over or having to try new things to adapt. It does seem like you are very adaptable, actually. It seems like you're able to fit into many different scenarios, and it seems like you're very intelligent and wise. And a lot of that lends to your experiences and having to adapt. So even if you don't know what you're doing in a different scenario, it's like you learn to adapt, you learn to overcome, and to do the best you can. I think you're actually very good at working with others. I think you're somebody who doesn't like arguing or fighting, but because of that, you're probably somebody who is more likely to be kind of reserved during arguments. And I think if there are disagreements that need to be worked out, I think it could be hard for you to do that. I think you're more likely to like escape those kinds of issues going on. Uh and it seems like also because we have work here and new beginnings, it seems like a lot of you are on a path right now of new beginnings as it does relate to work. So you could be starting a new career path, you could be going to college or going back to college. And yeah, just going down a different path or a new path as it relates to career. You could be in a phase where you're thinking of still doing similar line of work, but going to a different company or business. And I'm not surprised, but I think you're the type of people who also probably do switch careers often, like workplaces often. I think you're somebody who you do better energetically with that anyway. Like going to like not just staying somewhere for your whole entire career. I also see this with you in terms of moving. So I think that's also why there's kind of this erratic energy I was picking up on earlier, where it's not like necessarily you yourself are quote unquote erratic or all over the place, but I just think you always are doing new things because you don't like stagnancy, and I think you get interested in and intrigued by other things. There's actually quite a bit of like ooh. Okay, I swear. I was gonna say there's quite a bit of Sagittarius energy here, and then I forgot the Temperance card is here. Um, so I guess that makes sense, but and my mom is a Sagittarius sun, and she has many Sagittarius and just fire placements in general. And so, like, I think a lot of you will relate to this, but she really has worked so many different kinds of jobs across, like, so many different a wide array of, like, types of jobs, just types of jobs, like, what you do in your work. And I think a lot of you also are the type of people who are always wanting to learn. We see that as evidenced by the Seven of Wands upright. And so, also with the Seven of Cups in reverse, I just think you are somebody who weighs your options and that you always have ideas. So there's a lot of things that you want to do in life. There's a lot of things you want to explore. So that's part of the reason why you can't just stay in one spot and doing one thing. You always want to explore and to do more and to see if you like something better. I think that you also maybe struggle with that in terms of relationships as well, I'm not gonna lie, with Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I think a lot of you probably struggle with commitments in general, relationships or otherwise. I think you're probably somebody who runs late to things as well, even though we do have Temperance here. I feel like you're somebody who runs late to things, and you kind of go with the flow, which is why if you feel drawn intuitively to one thing, you'll do that. And it also gives me the energy of like you'll spend I think you do a lot of things at once. I think you multitask, but I think while you multitask and you're doing a lot of things, you also hyperfixate on one or two things at a time and put your all into those things. And so then once you get bored, it's like you just move on to the next thing. And so that's why I think a lot of you do also switch from career to career. I don't get the sense though that you're the type of person who how do I explain this? I don't think you're the type of person who is rewarded for your efforts, especially as it relates to work. Like, you're not somebody who's well known in your workspace. Um, it just I'm looking at the Six of Wands in reverse. So I think a lot of you, in terms of your career, you're not gonna do something where you're like a leader or anything. I just think you work to not work to live. What is it called? You work to play, or you work so that you can do your other fun hobbies. Is really the vibe that I get. But because we have work here, I wouldn't be surprised if you do stumble upon a job that you stay at for quite a while because you end up liking it and maybe incorporates your hobbies into it as well. So if you're thinking about what type of career you should do, think about what interests you and what kind of hobbies you specifically have already, and think of how those things can be incorporated. Let's say you love going on hikes. So then maybe very Sagittarius energy coded. Maybe you are a tour guide now, right? So then you can specifically a tour guide outside. Not like a museum guide, but like a tour guide outside in nature, a national park. Well, I don't know. The national parks are, at least at the time of filming this, they're under attack. People have been laid off, so I don't know how that will be in the future, but so I don't know about that. Or a flight attendant, right? Because then let's say you love to travel and when you save up so you can travel, maybe you could become a flight attendant, even a pilot. You can go to school to become a pilot. But even, you know what? I will say, not a pilot. Because again, I don't get the sense that you'll be somebody who is like very high up in any corporate America or corporate ladder anywhere in the world. You more so give the vibes of just you wanna do something that you enjoy, so that's why if you find something you enjoy, you'll do that and you don't care about the money as much. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's yes. I think that you are a hard worker for the things you care about, but if you don't care, it's hard for you to, like, stay put, so that's why it's like you're moving on to the next thing. And yeah, but I do see something where you'll stay put for a while, but I think you'll get that itch to go elsewhere. I just think that's how your life is kind of set up in general, especially look at your placements. If you have a lot of like fire placements, I wouldn't be surprised. And Sagittarius placements specifically, or like certain aspects that relate to fire signs. Anywho, ooh, or like a yeah, Sagittarius, ninth house, or it's ruled by Sagittarius energy, so it's ruled by Jupiter. Okay, what was I gonna say? I don't know, but you do get along well with people, I think, generally speaking. You're able to fit in with any environment that you put yourself in. And with temperance here, I just think that mainly lends to the fact that you're very go with the flow. I think because I get the sense that you're somebody who is moving on to always moving on to different things. With temperance, I don't get the sense of that being that you're patient as much. I think you're patient about things you care about, but if you're not, then you're immediately on to the next thing. But with temperance, I think that's more so about balance, where you really crave a balance between work life and home life. You don't want to be somebody who, at the end of your life, is like, oh yeah, I worked so hard and I worked diligently and I got all these honors through my career. I think you go beyond that, which is why whatever this career is that's coming up for you, I think could actually be very shocking for you. And but also, I think this just indicates you'll go through a lot of different stints of different workplaces. But there really is a sense that coming up soon, I know this is like actually not too soon, but I'm getting a sense of between 3 years, like from now, 3 years from now, if you're not already at this type of work, I think that 3 years from the time you're watching this video, you'll find a job where you'll want to stay there. And I think for a lot of you, it will be very weird. Like you just won't have imagined that for yourself. And it could be somewhere that you have to move somewhere else to have this line of work. Some of you maybe are also self-employed is the sense I'm getting, because I get the sense you are very independent, and that you could be self-employed but still having to do meetings and such with other people, or you interact with the public, because it does seem like you'd be a good salesman too, in some ways, but I don't think you'd actually enjoy the actual work of it. But I just think it's so easy for people to get along with you. And then we have healing here too. I do want to bring that up before I go into the guidebook because with that, I think a lot of you are very just healing people, which is why people like being around you. I think you probably have a stronger connection with nature, and that nature helps to heal you as well. And yeah, I don't know why there really is a strong sense to nature though. I feel a sense that you have a strong connection to animals as well, more specifically larger animals such as um horses. And oh, you know what? It's good I bring that up. Some people specifically tie in horses to Sagittarius and the ninth house. So some of you may relate to horses. Oh, and the Six of Cups, that person's on a horse. Wow. So I think you could do something in your line of work that involves horses, or you're near horses in some way. Even if it's something just like having a farm. Although I don't really get the sense that you would do that from this, but I think the things that you really do care about, you'll put enough time and energy into. And I think it's really easy for you to pick up new skills and to master skills as well. But because I think a lot of you don't think long term or future term, I don't get the sense that you spend a lot of your money right away or like on frivolous things necessarily, but Spirit is saying that you do run the risk of not having much money throughout your life, particularly because you're not the best at saving it. And I think you're a very giving person as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if you give money to people, or if, like, you have roommates, but they don't even pay rent, or they pay a lot less than you because 'cause you're just like, "Whatever, I got this." You seem like a very kind person in that way, and, like, you're generous. Sagittarius energy as well is very generous. So with the cup, we see the water pouring from one chalice to the other chalice, and I think you're very much like that, where you like to give for other people, you like to make sure other people in your life are cared for. And so before going to the guidebooks, I will say I don't really know anything about these deities. As much as I like mythology, I don't know much about things. Like, I have such a bad memory, it's crazy. That's why it's like I always loved history class, but I was so bad at it. I could never remember the names and the dates, which is literally what history class is all about, knowing the names and the dates. Um, yeah, so if when reading the guidebook, that should hopefully relate. I did remember skimming through 22 and just the energy resonated, so I didn't overthink it, I just put it down. I didn't read in the guidebook yet for EOS, but that does provide extra clarification here about how you're somebody who's always wanting to explore. And by the way, for some people, that's not really a good thing, always moving from one thing to the other. I get the sense that for many of you, it's part of your soul's evolution in this lifetime to explore and experience many things like all at once, as well as just like bouncing around. And I do see you traveling around and moving around quite a bit locationally. I just see that being part of your journey in this lifetime so that you can learn and expand your consciousness. Okay, I will go into the guidebooks now. We have 17 Fuchsite Healing Heart Chakra. You are a natural born healer. You heal with your words, actions, and energy. You can make a difference in other people's lives. Now is a great time to learn about natural remedies, counseling, teaching, medicine, or healing in some form. I can see a lot of you doing stuff like that too. Even if it's just for yourself and your family, doing stuff like learning Reiki, but not really doing that for a job, but doing that for yourself and others, or learning herbal medicine and doing that for yourself and others. Or like even like being a kitchen witch specifically and incorporating different herbs and spices and healing methods with that. Remember also that you can conduct healing work in more subtle ways in your everyday life. You don't need to be a doctor or nurse to be a healer. You may be a great listener and have a gentle, compassionate energy which greatly benefits your friends or coworkers or family members. Whatever form of healing you do for others, either consciously or subconsciously, be wary of becoming too drained. Make sure you find a balance between giving to others and nurturing yourself. You can express yourself openly and honestly without hurting others. You may need to stand your ground and say no at times in order to honor your true feelings. Fuchsite is associated with your heart chakra. It is known as the healer stone, and it has shown up to let you know that you're a healer, but also that to let you know that you need to prioritize healing yourself as well. So take some time out to recharge and rest and renew your energy. I actually don't get the sense that a lot of you need to do that. I think you are very energized people, but with the Temperance card, I do think overall you're a balanced person. And so I don't think you'd have to worry about having to balance yourself out. And also, when I was getting toward the end here, with Fuchsite, I was hearing follow your heart. I think you're somebody who, that's like what I've insinuated throughout this whole reading, but you're somebody who really does follow your heart and your intuition. And that's what leads you to new opportunities and new experiences, which is so crucial for you specifically. Let's go into the other guidebook now. And let's start with Eos. 13 New Beginnings. Eos is the daughter of the Titans Hyperion, god of light, and Thea, goddess of heavenly light, and the sister of Helios, sun, and Selene, moon. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. She is the personification of dawn. Each day she rises out of Oceanus, or the ocean, and opens the gates of heaven so that Helios can ride through them and illuminate the sky. She is an incredible beauty, with rosy fingers, golden arms, and large white wings. She is often depicted as wearing a tiara and a yellow dress woven with flowers. The message. If you've drawn this card, dawn is here. The long, dark night is over, and you stand at the beginning of a new day. This card comes with a burst of new energy as all possibility is open to you now. This is a good time to start afresh, make plans, hatch ideas, and open to your rising inspiration. The time is right for new beginnings, and you will be projecting this into the world. Don't be surprised if opportunities start knocking on your door. Unexpected meetings, gifts, or invitations may turn up. Enjoy this period and allow yourself to be guided by the universe and your inner voice. A new day has dawned in your life, so celebrate and enjoy it. A journey awaits you. And also, this actually really does tie in with that Sagittarius energy I was talking about. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Pisces is as well, traditionally, but Sagittarius placements, people with a lot of them, I think are the most lucky people. I think Leo placements can be as well, but Sagittarius placements are so lucky. And that's the thing, as long as you, as a person, whether you have Sagittarius placements or not, are open to receiving certain opportunities and energies, they will easily flow to you. I think you're the type of person who luckily doesn't have to put in a lot of effort for things to happen. Things just happen for you if you ask for them. So for you, any manifesting that you want to do, it will be very easy, or at least easier for you to manifest these kinds of things as opposed to other people. And I think it's also because you kind of have almost a childlike wonderment. And so it's like you don't think that anything's impossible. You believe in anything being possible. You believe in the impossible itself for it to happen for you. And so that's something that you should consider with any future endeavors, especially as they relate to work and career. Oh, do I have to finally sneeze now? Am I gonna sneeze? Am I gonna sneeze? I feel like I have to sneeze. Ooh, there we go. Bless me. 22. Hephaestus' work. The myth. Hephaestus is the son of Zeus and Hera. He was born crippled, but he is Hera's favorite child. The ultimate craftsman, Hephaestus is a sweet and gentle-natured god who created many magical things, including Pandora's jar and Achilles' shield. His creations are filled with magic, life, and wonder. As a divine blacksmith, he is the god of the creative fire. The message. If Hephaestus has shown up in your cards today, it is a signal that something wonderful will happen when you do the work you love the most. That's like what I was saying throughout this reading. Okay, beautiful. Hephaestus is a craftsman who imbues his work with love, and this is a creative time for you, so focus on crafting and creating true wonders in your life. This does not mean necessarily relate... Wait, what? Oh, this does not necessarily relate to just schoolwork, but also to the activities, projects, and passions that you love and choose to put your energy into. Now is the time to pay special attention to the inspiration you are receiving, for crafting takes a special kind of focus that requires you to be sensitive to the needs of the creation. If you understand that the creation has its own consciousness, you must be willing to craft in service to the creation's needs rather than your own, allowing your work to be filled with magic, life, and wonder. You may need to put in a lot of hard work, but you will feel passion for and devotion to what you do. This is a magical time of crafting and building. Soon you will need to be a warrior for your work and as you take it boldly into the world. That's the thing. That's like what I was saying about, I think you are hard workers for the things you love, but for the other things, it's like, whatever, and you just move on to the next thing that you're more passionate about or interested in. So I love that these cards express that. And both cards indicate how you're a very kind-natured person and like you work well in harmony with others, but ultimately you do things for yourself as well. It's that balance. And I think I maybe mentioned this earlier, but I do get the sense that you are very creative types, artistic types. So for you, what could be going on right now is that you are creative, and spirit could be indicating that you are meant to take a leap of faith in a way and start on your creative endeavor. Maybe you've already started a career or side gig in this creative or artistic endeavor, and that's just good confirmation for that. But spirit is saying that because you are such, and through your art, you heal. You heal yourself and you heal others, and you help others to heal themselves and to help other people, and the other people heal themselves, and it just that the cycle repeats. So, yeah, use your art as a way to heal and help others learn. Very good confirmation for the creatives out there. Okay, I will leave it at that though. Thank you so much, 1A, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comment again sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my YouTube channel. And you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 1A. Take care. Hello, 2B, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The tarot cards here are 3 of Cups upright, Ace of Wands upright. We have the 9 of Pentacles upright, Death card in reverse, and that's the only card in reverse. We have Ace of Pentacles upright, and the 6 of Cups upright. So it's interesting, 3 to 6 cups. Also, 6 cups is very individualistic versus 3 cups is very, like, community and friend-centric. And then we have, for the Oracle cards, 26 Lepidolite, Trust, Third Eye, and Crown Chakras. And I will also read from the guidebooks later for the Oracle cards. But we also have 23 Aries Battle. And I have not read in there for Aries, or everybody, I guess, says it differently. I haven't read the guidebook, but this is who got pulled from the stack, so I didn't have to try, because there's Oracle cards in that deck that aren't just Greek Olympian gods. So yeah, this got pulled right away though. Aries is an Olympian god, which is what I was going for this. So yeah, a lot of you know about Aries. You've heard of him before. Because of how he is named after the first zodiac sign in the zodiac wheel. Which makes, like, honestly, from what I know, my limited knowledge about Aries, I feel like this information makes sense. Aries is the baby of the zodiac wheel, very childlike, so we have the 6 of Wands, which relates to that energy. And anyway, I'm just gonna get into how I think you relate to Aries by saying specifically what this spread says about you. And I'll even start with Trust here, with Lepidolite Trust. I'll pair that with the Ace of Wands in the tarot stack, or in the tarot spread, because I feel like a lot of you could be very impulsive. You could be very impulsive, and I don't want to say necessarily go with the flow. It feels like you're very ambitious people, and you get rewarded for your efforts. Some people have bad luck and they just don't really get recognized for their efforts. But it seems like you work hard and you get rewarded for it. But it seems like a lot of your life decisions are based around, and I love how the Ace of Wands and Ace of Pentacles are mirroring each other, by the way. But it appears that a lot of your successes in life are based around you just going for things, being impulsive. If you have an idea, you just go for it right away. You're not the type of person who takes a lot of time to sit and think about something. If you feel like something's right, you just go for it. And with that, I think it's because you are very intuitive with Trust here, Third Eye and Crown Chakras. A lot of your impulsivity is tied in with your intuition. So if something, again, feels right, you're unafraid to go for it because you feel like things will work out in your favor. And I feel like a lot of times things do. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if back in the school days you were very popular. I wouldn't be surprised if you have a lot of friends now as well. And if you're even like, a lot of friend groups, there's like a head of the friend group. I wouldn't be surprised if you're the head of many friend groups. With the 3 of Cups here and the Ace of Pentacles. I mean, all of it, really. But it does seem like you have quite a bit of similarities to stack 1 as well. So if you feel drawn to listen to that, you can. But it seems like you also are somebody who doesn't like stagnancy. You're always wanting to try new things and do new things. So with death in reverse, it makes me think that you don't wait for change to happen, you make it happen. And in many instances, for you, I think it works out in your favor. But in some instances, it doesn't. Where if you're, I think a lot of you can be impatient. So if you're impatient and you're not willing to wait for something, then I think, like, how do I want to how do I want to explain this energy? The way this is coming across. It's like if you go for something and like you've been told that you should wait. I don't know why, but I'm getting the scenario in my head of like, let's say you ask somebody on a date and they're like, well, I'm sorry, I just got out of a relationship. Can you give me like 6 months? And then you go like 2 or 3 months and you're like, hey, you ready to date? And then they get put off by that and they're not even going to consider you in the future because you weren't patient. I think for a lot of you, you do struggle with being patient because of your impulsivity. And I think spirit wants you to work on that just a bit more, especially if you really feel like something is meant to happen for you, then you shouldn't have to rush. I think a lot of you try to rush through things, and and you just feel like things will work out in your favor even if you rush things. I wouldn't be surprised too if you were quick, like test takers back in school, but that you still did really good. It feels like you're very naturally charismatic. I think a lot of people are very easily drawn to you, and I think you have a good sense of humor as well. Oh, definitely. You have a very good sense of humor, which is part of the reason people are so drawn to you. And I think if you make mistakes or if you do something that upsets somebody, you're the type of person that people can't be mad at for too long. And there is this childlike energy about you where I think anything you do where it's like you don't do anything with ill intent. You really don't. You're the type of person who, if you do something and it upsets somebody, like, you won't know that it upsets them. I wonder if some of you maybe are bad at picking up on social cues as well, or reading the room, or you're just like, well, it's fine. They're just like joking and they didn't take it so seriously. But then if somebody confronts you and is like, hey, by the way, the thing you said last night to me really affected me, I think a lot of you would be kind of shocked. Like, what? I was just joking. You do run the risk of that, though. I think a lot of you could easily offend people with your jokes and with your sense of humor, so you have to be careful about that. Because I think you wouldn't realize when people are actually hurt by those things. But again, people easily forgive you because it's obvious that you don't have ill intent. And I think it's easy for you to meet new people as well. It's very easy for you to also network. Anything business related, I could see you doing something in terms of career. I could see you doing something business or finance related. I could see you being very good at being calm under pressure, but while also having a lot of clientele because you're just so good at talking with people. It's not even necessary. I mean, we don't even have any swords energy here, so it's not about necessarily the words you say, it's about how you say things, and it's about your actions, it's about your demeanor, like your behavior around your words. So if you're somebody who's very, like, if you think of what a good salesman is, somebody who's very bright and bubbly and is able to help you versus somebody who is a dud and kind of like stays clear of you and barely talks to you. If you try to, even if you're trying to engage with conversation with them, like at their cash register, it's like, which of those two people would you rather see out and about, like at the mall or at a store? Probably the person who's more bubbly, right? And you just give that vibe where it feels like you are also very bubbly, very happy-go-lucky. It seems like you also cheer on the successes of other people. It's not just that you want to succeed, you want to see other people succeed. So if you have clientele and part of your job is to help other people succeed in some way, I could see you being very good at that. I just see you being very good at whatever job you do in life because you're just a very naturally lucky person, but also a very likable person. People are very drawn to you. People like you a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what helps you get promotions and raises more quickly than other people. It seems like things do come to you quickly, which is why some of you it is hard to do things at a slower pace. Just because a lot of things in your life happen so suddenly and you embrace these You embrace the things that happen to you, but when you have to be the one to take action, it can be hard for you to be patient. So it's like, again, you don't wait for change to happen, you enact change, and sometimes that's not the best thing. Like, even an example would be asking for a raise or promotion, but let's say that your boss is like, we have to give it some time, and then like a week later, you're like, no, I want a raise or promotion. Like you could get fired. I think that some of you do run the risk of also having, like, even though you're very happy-go-lucky people, I think when you do get mad that you're not good at controlling your emotions, or I think you say things in the wrong way, which is why some people get offended by the things you say in your jokes without you realizing it. I think you say things in the wrong way sometimes. And, so if you do ever get mad and you have a temper about something, or if you're upset about something, you're not good at saying how you actually feel without being mean. It reminds me of RuPaul's Drag Race and the reading challenges. Like this past American season, Ariete, she's not funny while being mean, she's just mean. So it's like, at least y'all are actually, no offense, Ariete, if you end up somehow seeing this. A lot of you seem like very funny people and happy people, which is why I think when you do get mad and things come out a certain way, people are like especially taken aback by this, where it's like, where did that even come from? And what I'm seeing here though is that because of the Aries energy, I feel like an Aries person is usually unlikely to admit to their faults. But I think a lot of you are actually opposite of that, where if you feel like you're actually wrong, you'll admit to being wrong. If you don't feel you're wrong, you won't just apologize to apologize and to make the other person feel better. So maybe that resonates with you. Which is interesting though, yeah, because Aries placements usually have a hard time being emotionally vulnerable, I will say. Because we have a childlike energy here, I don't know, I do get the sense that it is hard for you to probably be emotionally vulnerable. I feel like a lot of you don't feel the need to be. I feel like, it's like you already get along with people, people already like you, and I think you're the type of person that just tries to move on to the next thing and like distract yourself with other things until you forget. I think a lot of you have a bad memory too, probably. You probably have a bad memory, which helps you to forget certain things, but yeah, it does feel like some of you do have a bad memory. Uh I am getting somebody who I'm like visualizing somebody who is pretty aloof, which is common with the more Aries placements. Somebody who is good-natured, has good intentions. I don't know if Aries, by the way, the actual deity, has good intentions. I would imagine he actually doesn't because he's like a fighter. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing here, though. Well, actually, let me try and tie in more with. I won't read fully what it's saying in the guidebook yet, but let me see if there's certain keywords that stick out. And let's see. Uh, oh wait, let me open that back up. I feel like there's something that I missed. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if you work out a lot. It's giving very much himbo energy, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're honestly a very attractive person and that's part of your charm. And, like, you go on a lot of dates, or just people are very drawn to you romantically or sexually. But because I just feel like people are drawn to you for many different reasons. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people do have crushes on you. But I think part of what I'm seeing in here is that it seems like you just go about life not doing it one step at a time, but full force. So I think that's part of the reason you do relate to Aries is like when he feels the need to go after somebody or something, he'll do that. And I just think that relates to a lot of you all as well, where you don't back down, you just go for something. But I think that can get you in trouble or some sticky situations in the long run. So I think people also feel very comfortable around you. I think if people are looking for, like, you're a very upbeat person, it feels like. So I wouldn't be surprised if people feel like renewed and their energy is revitalized. You're not the type of person, there's different friends in our friend groups who serve different purposes for our lives. some people are the type of people you go to when you're struggling with something emotionally, but I think if somebody wants to forget about what's going on in their life and they just want a good time, you're the person to hit up. I think probably you could be a party of some way of some kind, or you're like going to clubs, bars. Like I could see you being the type of person doing karaoke nights, dancing, and you might be bad, but you're like, I'm gonna do it anyway. You very much give the energy of being the life of the party. So I think you're the person in your friend groups who is that person where people don't necessarily open up emotionally to you, but if they want to have a good time, they know to come to you. And so people feel comfortable being around you because they know that you will get them to, well, in terms of like letting loose, such as, singing karaoke, you're the type of person who's like, I don't care. I think you don't care about other people's perceptions of you if they don't like you or if they have judgments of you or not, because you're just like in your own little world. So if you have friends, you meet new friends and you're going to karaoke night and they're like all scared up there. I can see you being like cheering them on in the crowd or else going up there and singing like a duet with them and like maybe purposefully doing it bad just so like it can ease attention, make other people laugh, and it will uplift people's spirits. I think you're that type of person. There's different ways to uplift people, and you're the type of person who I think you're not afraid to also be the butt of a joke, as long as you don't actually take you don't take yourself too seriously. As long as like you just have fun in life. That's your main goal in life, is to have fun and meet people. I think that's really what it is for you. Have fun, meet people. Uh, but you're the type of person who can help people to feel comfortable enough to just do whatever because you don't care what other people think as well. And other people find that very admirable in you, where you'll just do whatever. And if people judge you, you're just like, oh, okay, you're just not as fun as me. Like, you're done. And you just mind your own business. You're very much that kind of person where you don't allow other people's judgments to affect you. And it's literally like it doesn't even enter you, it does not affect you at all. So I think you're kind of almost not a very grounded person just because I feel like you don't evaluate your emotions as much as you should. But I think that you're vulnerable in the way you express yourself though. Just like by being like if I could describe you, you are unapologetically yourself. I also wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are just like loud, like have a loud cadence in your voice. I talk loud. I think like there's many reasons for that. One of the reasons is because like everybody in my household growing up talked loud, so if you wanted to be heard, you had to talk louder than the person next to you. I think you do run the risk of interrupting people though, but again, I don't think it's for because of ill intentions at all. I think it's really just because you want to engage in the conversation. I think you maybe do act like a kid when you're talking about things you're passionate about or when you're interested in the conversation. It's like I think you're somebody who expresses a lot through your like some people are very expressive when they talk. So I wouldn't be surprised if with your hands you do a lot of expressions or you just move around a lot and you do a lot of facial expressions. And that helps other people keep engaged in the conversations as well. So other people really do feel like they could get a burst of energy from you. And I don't get the sense that a lot of you really even. Hmm, it's interesting because Aries placements in general, even though they could be seen as social creatures, I've seen both sides of it. Like one of my exes is an Aries, and he very much, I think, like tied into that energy. But from what I've known, also just like throughout my school years, seeing people with Aries placements, strong Aries placements, is that you can be very sociable, but you need a lot of time to recharge as well. I don't really know if you have much time to rest. I don't think you need much time to rest or take breaks, but I think when you do, it's like maybe a 10-minute nap, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I actually do think, though, that in some areas of your life, you're good at putting down boundaries, but when it's for having a good time, you're like, whatever, I'm willing to like not give myself a break if it means having a good time. But in some areas, you are willing to have boundaries. Like if people talk to you with disrespect, you want to deal with that, maybe, is the way this is coming across. If people ask you to hang on, it's like, I told you not to ask me, but fine, I still will. So I think you're lenient with your boundaries, but also on certain aspects, such as how you are treated, you aren't afraid to have boundaries. You're such a fun person. Is the way that this is being shown, like, you're such a fun person. And with trust too, I think other people do trust you. Again, not with their, like I think people would trust you with their life, actually. I think people could easily say that. Because you are very intelligent, but you're also somebody who yeah, you experience a lot of things. You just know a lot of about life, I think. I think people would trust you with their lives, but not really with their I think people would trust you with their secrets too, though. With their secrets, because I think you're somebody who just wouldn't, because you, it's not like you don't care, but I guess you kind of don't care. You're just like, well, whatever. Why would I tell other people? You told me, not them. I think you're a very matter of fact person. You take things at face value. You don't go beyond that. You don't go more in depth into hidden meanings. You just accept things in life for as they are. And for the things people tell you, you accept those things for as they are. And I think you trust the words people tell you as well. So you should be careful about that. That kind of language is like it reminds me of people who go into cults, because it's like you just believe what people say. You could very much believe in many conspiracy theories that are very like out there, because I think you aren't afraid to question things, and like and I think you're just a very highly curious person. You like to make a lot of inquiries, but just be careful. You could run the risk of finding yourself surrounded by people who are very toxic, negative, and just like deniers of things they shouldn't be deniers of. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think people trust you with things because you won't judge them. You're such a non-judgmental person that people can go to you and say anything. So even if they were emotionally vulnerable, it's like you'll still be there. You won't say their secrets to people or say how, like what you've been doing, how you've been feeling. If they tell you not to, you'll keep that with you. So I think people do trust you. And I think too, with Aries here, I think you are somebody who, even though you're a very happy-go-lucky person, for the people you love and care about, you are not afraid to stand up for people. Or it reminds me of, like, if you see those movies and it's like a kid that gets bullied and then one of the main characters stands up for them. It very much reminds me of that, where you're somebody who's very well liked. And even if you were part of more of a popular crowd, or maybe, you know what, I could see you going in between many different crowds throughout school, because you're such a likable person, you're very friendly, and I just think you're very non-judgmental. But I think you're not afraid to stick up for people, even yourselves, but especially other people who you really care about. You're very protective of people, and so if you see somebody getting bullied, even if you don't know them, you're the type of person who's willing to stand up for them. I just think people have a lot of respect for you. And you're just a very admirable person. I love the energy of this stack. Oh my god, I want to be friends with y'all. Maybe party with y'all. It would have to be on a night where I have enough energy. Okay, let's go into the guidebooks though. Let's go to, I almost slipped right to it. I was one page off. 26 Lepidolite Trust, Third Eye and Crown Chakras. Trust in the universe. Stay strong and positive. Stand in your own space and know that you are exactly where you are meant to be right now. I think that's very much a mantra for you all already. Try to remove any doubts you might have about what is going on around you. It is time for you to trust and move forward. It is also important that you pay attention to and trust any intuitive feelings that you are receiving. This is your spirit guides and angels' way of getting messages through to you. Even if you don't understand why something is happening, trust that everything is going to be okay. I think y'all really are like that, where even if you don't know where you're going, you're like, what? Well, I just feel like doing it. But I don't think you tie it in with your intuition. You're just like, this is something I feel like I should do. A lot of times I think that is actually your intuition. So try to tap into your intuition and see if that feels the same as just the things you feel drawn to. Lepidolite helps you to overcome any worries that you may have. It also helps you to be independent and opens you up to trust and self-love. I think you are both independent and sociable creatures. Lepidolite is associated with the third eye and crown chakras. It is known as the stone of transition. If you're transitioning in certain areas of your life right now, take this as a great sign that you need to trust in the decision that you have made. It is the right time for this transition to occur. Enjoy the new beginnings that are flowing into your life. Yeah, the card that I pulled for stack 1A, before I pulled a Greek deity card, or a Greek Olympian god card, I pulled Eos, which was all about new beginnings. So again, some of you really could relate to that stack in certain areas as well. But yeah, I feel like you're very good at making decisions, because it's like you already know all the answers, so you don't question yourself. Beautiful. Now let's go to the other guidebook. Oh, I flipped. Okay. 23 Aries. The myth. Aries is the son of Zeus and Hera. He is the god of war and embodies not only the spirit, but also the blood and guts of the fight. Often thought of as a kind of butcher, Aries does not govern the strategy of war, but rather the physical aspect of the fight. The message. Aries is here to remind you that you may need to take a step back and see what is occurring in your life. It is dangerous to immerse yourself in the heat of battle without a sense of how and why you are there. It is equally dangerous to remain oblivious to the need for battle when you are in danger of losing yourself and your ground. That's the thing. A lot of you, I think, are, because you're very happy-go-lucky, you could be oblivious to any dangers or any warning signs that are going on. So I think Spirit does want for you to decipher when you should use your intuition and trust it instead of just, like, turning it off, if that makes sense. Or just being like, everything will be okay, because not all the time will things be okay. It may be necessary to fight at this time, but you must understand what you are fighting and why, in order to choose the most beneficial course of action. Fighting for what you believe to be right is very important, but standing for your truth must be more important than achieving your desired outcome. It is very important that you are not fighting just to protect or to nurture an injured ego, as proving that you are right or better is not a noble reason to fight. If that is the reason you are fighting, you need to let the injury go and focus on other opportunities in which to invest your energy. Also, be careful not to butcher your way through the things and people you love. This is not the way to get things done. If passions are running high, it's important not to take out your aggression on those who love and support you. Sometimes we can't fight we can't fight when we are really sorry. Sometimes when we can't fight what we are really angry at, we take it out on other targets. Woo, got through it. If you have pulled this card, it is time to fight for yourself, your ground, your loved ones, or your beliefs, but don't fight blindly. You need to understand what is happening and why. Analyze your true motivations. Discover what is driving the battle. After examination, if the battle still seems like it is based on your personal truth and integrity, then move forward with calm, strong action and a clear state of mind. I think that part about analyze your true motivations is important because, again, I think a lot of you don't really do a lot of self-reflecting very much. You just act on impulse or act on what you feel is right in the moment. So Spirit, I think, does want you to analyze more of the deeper meanings behind your thoughts or your feelings. I will leave it at that, though. Thank you so much, Chibi, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with the stack, and you can update your comment again sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my YouTube channel, and you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, Tubi, and take care. Hello 3C and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The tarot cards here are the Devil upright, the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Cups upright, the Moon in reverse, the Eight of Cups in reverse, and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have 16 fluorite spirit guides, third eye chakra, and Zeus, number 14, divine expansion. This is a very interesting collection here because, okay, so obviously Zeus was pulled. I didn't assign Zeus to this. That's just what was pulled. It's interesting because this pile holds a lot of power, but yet it doesn't at the same time. We do have the devil. Like, by the way, I don't know too much about like all the lore as it relates to Zeus, but I know that he's like the main god of all the gods. He's the OG god. And or just the overarching god. And he controls the skies and he controls thunder. I know that even though the devil would more likely be associated with Hades, I know that for Zeus, he was considered not really the best guy. And from what I know about him, he was very power hungry and he loved the power that he had. Now, what I will say about you is that this is so weird, yeah, because you chose this deck. Oh, I want to be, like, nice and stuff, but I gotta be honest from what I'm seeing, too. Also, the Ace of Cups and the Moon both being reversed and they're next to each other. Those two have similar messages to each other just in general. And for this reading, they do as well. Okay, but what do I even want to start with saying? It appears that... Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. Okay, I think if you've chosen this deck, you're most like Zeus because it seems like a lot of you want and expect a lot out of life. And since the Seven of Swords is in reverse here, I think a lot of you try to take shortcuts for things. With the Eight of Cups upright, it indicates that you easily give up and walk away from people and things. I think for you all, it's very difficult for you to open up to people and be emotionally vulnerable. I think that it's easy for you to cut off relationships with people because it's hard for you to get close. You feel uncomfortable being close to other people. And yeah, I see you being very emotionally closed off. I don't think people easily know how you're feeling. I think, oh, and that's even true with the Seven of Swords in reverse too. I think people don't know easily what you're thinking or feeling. And that when people try to get you to open up, it's like you evade questions. I think you're somebody who, because of the devil being here, you probably deal with, well, again, this is all legend for entertainment purposes only. I wouldn't be surprised if you deal with mental health issues, especially anxiety or depression. And I think because of that, that makes it hard for you to be around people because when other people are happy, it makes you feel weird or it makes you feel like imposter syndrome. And I think even if you start feeling happy, it makes you feel weird. I think a lot of you feel safe and comfortable in the negativity that you have. I think you very much hold a lot of self-hatred. Oh, this makes me so sad. It seems like a lot of you hold a lot of like negative thoughts about yourself and you just don't view yourself in a very positive light. Although I will say I think Zeus is opposite of that, but I feel that, but you know what? No, let me bring up Zeus again. I think, and even spirit guides, a lot of you with the Moon reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse, that can also indicate being highly intuitive. A lot of you are highly intuitive, and I think you don't realize it, or else maybe you are intuitive, but you just haven't been able to tap into that yet because you're so closed off to that kind of energy. Maybe for some of you, if you were to like see an apparition or to sense spirit around or do tarot for yourself, maybe some of you, that kind of stuff actually would scare you. So I think a lot of you, I want to consider you a fearful person, but I think when it comes to divine intervention and divine guidance and answers, I think that kind of stuff might scare you. But also, I think a lot of you have a very fragile ego. So if spirit is telling you one thing and if you don't agree with it, then I think you'd easily disregard what they're trying to tell you. Unfortunately, it's just the way that it comes across. So I think a lot of you are also very stubborn. And also with this Zeus energy, it's like you do things that you want to do. I think it's hard for you to compromise. So if there's something that, like, let's say friends are all hanging out in a group together, then I think you would, if you're just like, hey, can we do this? And everybody else is like, well, can we actually maybe do something else? We did that last time. And then it's like, you're like, okay, well, I'll just stay at home. That's fine. So I think if things don't go your way, you feel the need to just like withdraw yourself. And that's a good way to put it. I think you easily are like kind of a lone wolf, very, I wouldn't be surprised if you're very disconnected from having relationships with people in your life. With the Ten of Pentacles in reverse being here, I wouldn't be surprised if you come from a negative family situation, if you don't get along with family, or if you don't even talk to family anymore. Seems like a lot of you could be cut off from family or many family members. And the ones that you are still in contact with, it feels like you don't really have a good connection with them. So I think a lot of your bad habits as well that you have are also brought upon you from your upbringing. So that can include conditioning, like from society, but I think it's more so from just your direct family and like your family history. So, for example, some of you also with the devil could deal with addiction issues, and that being mirrored by the moon in reverse, it makes me so sad. So a lot of you could deal with addiction type issues. That doesn't mean actually having an addiction. It could mean something as simple as OCD. It could be something like codependency. It doesn't have to be from substances, but for some of you, I think you are at a greater risk of that, I will say. But I think it's weird because there's a sense that you don't want to be hurt by people, so you keep to yourself, but at the same time, you crave validation from people, but then you reject it when people do give you validation because you feel like people are just saying it and they're not meaning it. So I think there's a lot of conditioning from your family, and really, if you haven't already, evaluate how your family dynamics growing up have impacted you now. It seems like, if your parents fought all the time, then it's probably hard for you to be in romantic relationships. If you like for you in love, I really do see that you're the type of person who it's weird. We have the devil here. The devil is very controlling. The moon in reverse can be kind of controlling. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have manipulative tendencies. I'm sorry to have to say what I see. Or controlling tendencies. But at the same time, if a romantic partner still doesn't fully align with you, or if you don't agree fully with the partner, then I see you easily walking away. Same with a friend. If you have a friend, let's say you're in a disagreement, I see you easily just walking away and like never talking to them again, blocking them and everything. I think for you, you don't face things head on. You just you do what you want to do, and if that means not having to confront any longer a situation, or like more not even confront, resolve anything, I think you're not good at resolving issues. You're more likely to just like walk or run away from them, and you'll think that you are right. And there's a sense that, especially with parent figures, think about how that relates to you from any of that has been modeled to you when you were younger. With the Seven of Swords in reverse, I think you are very highly untrusting of people. You don't trust people, and you don't like believe people when they tell you things. Even if somebody tells you something like I'm seeing a history textbook word for word, I can see you being like, "Yep, I don't believe that." So there's very much this stuck, stubborn energy, but it's because it's keeping you safe because of something from your upbringing or your family dynamics that you're trying to prevent from happening again. So it's like you're very much the type of person where it's like, well, I'll hurt other people as well before they hurt me. But also, I do want to say, I don't get the sense that you like directly hurt people as much as it's just that you escape from problems. So I will say there's a difference in that sentiment. But it's like you'll run away before people can hurt you. That is very much what relates to you and your energy that is being expressed here. But I also think too, a lot of you, I think you could have anger issues, but I don't think it comes across as you yelling at people. I just think it's that you very much internalize. You don't externalize your feelings. And I think anything that upsets, it feels like you have amplified emotions. So when you feel, it feels like you feel 10 times more than other people. And so when you feel sad or angry, it's like you bask in that. And that is, I think, a default emotion for many of you, where your default is to feel very like unsatisfied with yourself or your surroundings. Like it's hard for you to feel happy or content or safe. So because of that, I think for you it's like a barrier you put around yourself for protection of being angry, of being sad. But you have to think about, are you actually sad and angry at all these things, or is there really stuff that you can be happy about? I just don't even think you really entertain that. There's very much a lot of nihilism tied in with this stack. And there's a sense that the world has just hurt you so much. So I think that's why you think you're in the right, because it's like, I think some of you think, well, no matter what I do, I'll never be as bad as like my family or my parents. And for many of you, I will say that's probably true. I think a lot of you are definitely, you have the ability and the power to be much better than your parents and the people in your family from your upbringing. You have the ability to be, like, I guess you can say, quote unquote, better than these people and to live a better life. But I don't think you allow yourself to, because there's a lot of suppressed fear. I don't think it reads as you being fearful, but it's more the fear of getting hurt, the fear of something bad happening. And I think any judgment or critiques you receive affect you more than many of you realize. It seems like you just internalize, so you don't understand the impact of people's words and actions. And it seems like a lot of people from your past haven't apologized and don't have regrets for things. So it's like now you're in a place of feeling stuck. But I think Spirit really wants to tell you, you don't have to be stuck and you don't need to hold on to these past hurts anymore. That doesn't mean you even have to forgive these people for what they did, but try to look at these issues in a way that they don't have to affect you moving forward. Because it's like there's a lot of blockages in your aura, in your body, that are preventing you from doing much of anything right now, because it's just there's a lot of vengeance also that I'm getting. Even though the devil is Capricorn energy, and the moon is Pisces energy, some of this can be Pisces energy, but I really get the sense that this is more Scorpio energy throughout this stack. And Zeus, who is Zeus associated with? Probably Capricorn, right? Uh, right? That's what I would think, at least. But so there's a lot of different energies going on here, but ultimately there's a sense that Spirit wants to tell you you have the power to live a happier life, but you're just kind of preventing yourself from doing that. Spirit guides is here, so I think you do have a strong connection with Spirit. Spirit has been trying to reach out to you and to tell you, and with Divine Expansion with Zeus, literally you have so much power. You have the ability to manifest as well. You have the ability to turn your pain into power. You have the ability to teach other people, and you have the ability to even heal other people. But I think the way you heal people will be through expressing the pain of situations you've been in. With the Eight of Wands here too, I think a lot of you really, the Eight of Cups, I think a lot of you have had to deal with such toxicity in your childhood that I think a lot of you have left all that behind physically, but Spirit is saying that mentally and emotionally, you still carry all this weight around. And so it's having an effect on you. It's having an effect on your ability to fully heal. If you really want to fully not be affected by these situations, and if you want to have a more positive outlook on life, then you need to face these things. Because even if you've walked away, there's issues that you still have not actually fully addressed. So I recommend speaking with a counselor. I recommend journaling if you can. I recommend looking at Patrick Teehan on YouTube if you can't go to an in-person therapist, or, if insurance doesn't cover for you. But there's a sense that Spirit is trying to let you know that you are safe. You're in a better place now than you used to be. And that you're able to make connections with people. We've been trying to send you signals of like guidance of where you should go. But a lot of you are just so stuck right now. And I think you have been since you were a child, stuck in this rut. And I think a lot of you, because you had to be in a situation of fighting when you were younger, or like standing up for yourself, a lot of you, that's why you are so individualistic. And I think a lot of you have had to come up with the Seven of Swords in reverse energy. It makes me think you've had to come up with a lot of creative solutions. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are liars, but hear me out. Like, if you lie quite often, but it's because you maybe saw lying a lot when you were younger. A lot of gaslighting when you were younger. And if you just feel like it's easier to not be truthful because that's maybe you being truthful, you feel like these people getting a peek inside your soul in a way, like people knowing more about you. And I think you don't want people to know about you. Spirit is saying, though, you have an ability to be more open and receptive to others. And you have more of an ability, I think a lot of you too, I wanted to say, probably don't know much about what you're passionate about, because maybe when you were younger, you weren't given the opportunity to have passions, hobbies, or interests. Or maybe you were always told you wouldn't be good for anything, so you never went to college, or you didn't go to college for something you enjoyed. Like, you knew you wouldn't like it. So Spirit is saying that with all of these things combined, it makes sense if you don't know, for example, what your life purpose is. If you don't know what you even like and dislike. I think a lot of you are so disconnected from yourselves. So really try and work on grounding yourself and on doing meditation exercises and exercises where you channel or connect with Spirit. Because there's a sense that they're trying to help guide you. They'll help you get out of the darkness and be brought to light, although they're saying that this will be very difficult and it will be very scary. It will be something that you don't feel comfortable with or safe with. But Spirit is saying it's better to take this risk than to have your safety net be this cloud of darkness that surrounds you, and for your past to be what dictates your present and your future. Because Spirit is saying, since you do have so much power and experience, Spirit is like literally saying you've gone through so much in life already. Now's the time for you to actually enjoy life. Now's the time for you to actually try to figure out what's meant for you and what isn't. Now's the time to not only be a lone wolf. Now's the time to express your power in the form of healing yourself and others. Spirit is really indicating that you have this ability. Turn that power of negativity into power of positivity. And a lot of this does involve shift in mindset. If there's any people from your past that you're still talking to, that you haven't fully cut the cords with, that are very negative to you, please cut them out. That's part of what some of you need to do to just like finally go on this journey of healing for yourselves, is to cut people out of your life who you shouldn't have in your life. I don't care, for example, if they are blood related to you. If they are not good people or if they are not kind to you, then you need to be able to have the ability to walk. I mean, literally the Eight of Cups is about walking away. So if you haven't walked away yet from certain people from your past, and if they're still in your present, if you haven't fully severed those ties, like unfollow people on social media, block people, do what is best for you, because there's really a lack of self-care that is shown here, and a lack of looking inward. And part of what will help you is to get rid of these negative influences that are in your life now or have been in your life from the past. Okay, I will go into the guidebooks now. We have 16 Fluorite Spirit Guides, Third Eye Chakra. Fluorite has shown up for you today to let you know that you are protected by your guides in the spirit world. Fluorite also helps you to enhance your intuition. It is associated with your third eye chakra. It is time for you to trust your intuition and to trust in your spirit guides. They will never let you down or lead you astray. There is no need for you to ever feel alone again. You have your own spirit family who are with you at all times. Connecting with your spirit guides can help you to access a higher source of wisdom and guidance. Connecting with your spirit guides is not hard. You just need to talk to them in your mind or out loud. Be patient with the process because it can take some time to learn how to hear your spirit guides. They can sound like your own thoughts or voice. And remember that messages from your spirit guides may also come as physical signs. For example, you may feel your body heat up or tingle or feel goosebumps in your arms. So yeah, practice with different ways to connect with your spirit guides so that you know that you're talking with them and it's not just your inner voice or your inner child running rampant. Spirit really does want to let you know that you're safe, that you are not alone. I love that they're saying that. They're saying that you just have this ability to go for things, but you haven't been given as many opportunities as maybe your counterparts growing up. But they're saying that you can reach out to them, your spirit guides. You can reach out to them and that you can ask for guidance. And so remember, practice does take patience. Practice is patience in this situation. And if things don't work right away, that doesn't mean it won't work ever. And you'll know also that spirit is talking to you, your spirit guides are talking to you when they're not going to be negative in nature to you. Your ego or your inner child may speak negatively to you, and that's how you know that's not your spirit guides. Your spirit guides will talk to you in a way that is encouraging and in a way that will be helpful and conducive to your healing journey. I always say conducive, but I'm like, do I really mean conductive? That's like energy. Anyway, so I love those messages that they have for you. And then in here we have number 14, Zeus. Divine expansion. Let's see what it says. The myth. Zeus is the king of the gods and the lord of humankind. He is the ruler of the skies and the father of the world. His symbols are the lightning bolt, eagle, bull, and oak. He is the last-born son of the titans Cronus and Rhea. When the immortal Semele demanded that he show her his true nature, Zeus revealed himself as pure, intense, blinding lightning, so powerful that it consumed her. As the spirit of the divine spark of life, Zeus fathered many heroes and gods. The message: Zeus represents the divine spark of life. He holds the limitless space of the heavens within his realm. This is a time of great expansion for you. A new spark of divinity has been planted in your life, and as the seed grows, so too does your consciousness undergo a deep transformation. Oh, today I am filming this on a Wednesday. Sorry, the siren is going off outside. It distracted me. I'm like, what? You may hear that. Sorry if you do. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, where was I at? I'm just gonna reread this part. This is a time of great expansion for you. A new spark of divinity has been planted in your life, and as the seed grows, so too does your consciousness undergo a deep transformation and expansion. This may be a good time for you to write or record ideas. The lightning bolt represents awakenings, realizations, and personal epiphanies, and these can be both joyous and terrifying, as a shift in consciousness always requires you to let go of an old way of thinking. Although your old patterns are now outdated and restrictive, they have also become comfortable, and it takes courage to let them go and to allow yourself to expand. Lightning touched you and awakened you to your full potential. This is an inspired time when anything is possible. You are shaking off your old, unnecessary patterns and retaining only what is true. As you are electrified by new insights and feel a surge of energy rushing through you, the universe is guiding you to your higher goals. Trust. This is the time to live life truly empowered and awake. This is beautiful. It really feels like you are Zeus. You are able to have this switch. And a lot of you, even though healing is, you have to be patient with it, I think that right away, as soon as you go on this certain journey that you need to go on for healing old wounds and healing yourself and putting yourself out there, you'll realize that there will be a lot of shifts in all areas of your life, and things will happen suddenly. And it really is a time for you to trust in yourself and trust in spirit. A lot of you don't trust in yourself. And so spirit is saying with this, you are like Zeus. You are able to awaken to your full potential. You just have to take those first few steps, and that will be very difficult. The first parts of the journey can be the hardest for people, but spirit is saying that in order for you to tap into your potential, which you have, and there's like, I really see a lot of good things that are coming your way once you get out of this cloud. Spirit is saying that once you're able to do this, things will align, things will make a lot more sense, and you'll just be ultimately so much happier. You'll feel a lot more creatively inspired, and yeah, just allow yourself to feel happiness. Don't be too scared to the point of giving up when things get overwhelming. Just find time to breathe and relax, and also look up ways to do like self-soothing techniques, healing things when you're out in public, if you're overwhelmed, any of that. Okay, I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, 3C, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video down below. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack at all, and you can update your comments sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. You can check out my... you can subscribe to my channel. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel, and you can check out my ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR. That will be linked in the video description down below. And if you're still listening to this, I will say some of you could deal with food insecurity or bad eating habits, and that's part of, like, if that just resonates with you, then if you chose stack 3C, then that's just extra confirmation. Anyway, I will leave it at that. Thank you so much again, 3C, and take care.